Être avec elle chaque fois.
À cela s'ajoute le retard dans la compréhension, explique le parent.
Ce sont des personnes qui ont une compréhension très tardive. Ça veut dire que tu peux demander de faire quelque chose une fois. C'est pas qu'elle ne veut pas, c'est qu'elle n'a pas compris. À l'école aussi c'est ça. C'est là un peu que le gros problème se pose.
En outre, la santé et le bien-être des personnes albinos nécessitent des efforts permanents. Hilary l'a bien compris et fait de son mieux au quotidien.
L'entretien comme tout le reste des enfants. C'est produits de toilette. Et quand elle part à l'école, c'est les collants et les longues manches. Ce sont les personnes qui ne sont pas adaptées au soleil. Il y a aussi les interdits. C'est qu'il y a des choses qu'elle ne mange pas. Même si on lui donne ça dehors, elle ne mange pas.
Au Cameroun, on dénombre environ 2200 albinos selon les chiffres du gouvernement. Et malgré les actions menées par les politiques publiques, les organisations non gouvernementales et la société civile, ces personnes continuent de subir des stigmatisations et d'autres formes de violence.
Ni John Fundi est mort. La nouvelle tourne en boucle depuis hier. Le chairman du Social Democratic Front SDF a succombé à une longue maladie. Une période de l'histoire politique du Cameroun se ferme donc avec la mort de l'homme de Ntarikon. Dans ce journal, voici l'éditorial de Bertrand Ouna.
Difficile de ne pas s'arrêter devant le nom de Ni John Fundi. En ce jour où on commence à parler de lui au passé, tant l'homme a marqué de manière retentissante son passage sur terre sous la casquette d'acteur politique camerounais. Saisissant l'opportunité du retour au multipartisme, Ni John Fundi, en quête de terrain d'expression après sa défaite face à Simon Achidi Yachou pour la présidence de la section RDPC de la Meusam au nord-ouest, va se lancer dans l'arène politique nationale avec sa propre chapelle politique, à savoir l'OSIF dès 1990. Tribun racé, orateur pertinent, doté d'un courage à toute épreuve, le chairman va braver les anti-émeutes avec leurs gaz lacrymogènes, leurs matraques et leurs pompes à eau, convainquant au passage de nombreux Camerounais de tous les âges, de toutes les obédiences religieuses, de toutes les couches sociales, de toutes les tribus, de le suivre sur les routes pour obtenir le changement. De partout dans le pays, les slogans « Power to the people »,« Sofa don't finish » haranguent des foules et créent une frénésie nationale. La puissance de Ni John Fundi était si vivace que le président Paul Biya lui-même, pourtant réputé imperturbable, quelle que soit la situation, a dû se remuer de son cadre douillet du palais de l'unité à Etoudi. Le reste des péripéties appartiennent à l'histoire. Et malgré cette gloire, Ni John Fundi a su rester humble, disponible, utile pour des nouvelles générations. Le présent du SIF est certes aux antipodes du combat mené par le chairman durant 30 ans, mais Fundi mérite la couronne de gloire du pouvoir RDPC en place qui l'a aidé à se faire une réputation internationale de démocrate. L'homme du Power to the People doit être célébré par la classe politique parce qu'il a suscité des vocations. L'homme du Sofa don't finish mérite la reconnaissance du peuple parce qu'il l'a guidé vers la politisation. Le Baoba Ni John Fundi s'en va. Le SIF va-t-il survivre? Le défi est lancé à ses successeurs.
Et du côté de la classe politique nationale, ce sont des congénères qui ne cachent pas leur immense tristesse suite à l'annonce du décès du chairman Ni John Fundi. Et vous dites que ces acteurs gardent néanmoins du fondateur du Parti de la Balance de grands souvenirs, Jean-Claude Ngué.
Si l'on s'en tient à la volonté du peuple en 1992, un chef d'État, entre guillemets, s'en est allé, dixit l'honorable Cabral Libi, président du PCRN, sur son compte Facebook. Un hommage appuyé par la présidente de l'Union des populations du Cameroun, Abiba Issa.
Le départ du chairman Ni John Fundi est une tragédie pour le Cameroun, surtout au moment où les problèmes dans le Nozo n'ont pas encore trouvé leur solution définitive. L'image que je garde de lui, c'est la démonstration de force lors de l'élection présidentielle d'octobre 1992. Un homme d'un courage particulier qui a participé aux réelles avancées de notre démocratie et même de notre gouvernance.
Le président de l'organisation du mouvement patriotique, Bertrand Onana, parle d'une perte immense.
Herman a contribué à installer la démocratie telle que nous la vivons aujourd'hui. Le SDF demeure l'un des partis pionniers du mouvement démocratique camerounais. Que son âme repose en paix.
Du côté de l'UNDC, Union nationale démocratique camerounaise, le président national Dalami Abdoul Moumini a de la peine à trouver des mots.
Le chairman du Social Democratic Front est parti. Le chairman s'est toujours battu pour la même cause, l'amour et la grandeur du Cameroun. Aujourd'hui, il nous revient de continuer sur ce combat. Être amoureux de notre pays et vouloir le bien de notre pays.
Le parlementaire UDC Koupit Adamo évoque un immense vide que laisse le père du parti de la balance dans la scène politique nationale.
C'est un leader qui aura contribué à faire tomber beaucoup de barrières sur le chemin de l'évolution de la démocratie camerounaise. Mais c'est également l'image d'un leader qui parfois aura posé des actes qui interprétés diversement, certains pensant que c'était pour aider le système.
Pour le Rassemblement démocratique du peuple camerounais, le communicant au comité central Benoît Fedieu a salué la mémoire d'un homme qui a toujours préservé la République au détriment des intérêts personnels.
Le départ de Ni John Fundi survient alors qu'en interne, l'ambiance n'est pas favorable à la sérénité au sein de sa formation politique, le SDF. Écoutons Jean-Claude Ngué à ce sujet. Jean-Marie Anaba plutôt à ce sujet.
Ce contexte est bien celui des divisions internes qui secouent le SDF en ce moment. Il est vrai que le chairman, affaibli par des revers politiques et la maladie, a décidé de passer le témoin à Joshua aussi, premier vice-président national, comme candidat du parti à la présidentielle de 2018. Mais alors rien n'indique clairement qui est son dauphin. Depuis son annonce en février 2021 de se retirer de la scène politique, deux camps se sont formés. Partisans du député Jean-Michel Nietzsche et des soutiens de Joshua aussi. Les premiers dont l'auto-exclusion a été constatée par le National Executive Committee en application du fameux 8.2 se sont constitués en collectif G27+, et ont décidé de traîner le défunt chairman en justice pour être réhabilité. L'affaire qui est encore pendante devant les juridictions a été renvoyé au 22 juin prochain. En attendant le verdict, le parti prépare son congrès ordinaire pour les 28, 29 et 30 juillet 2023 à Yaoundé. Les commissions sont d'ailleurs à pied d'œuvre et l'évaluation du niveau des préparatifs a été faite au dernier NEC, même s'il est vrai que Jean-Michel Nietzsche, qui se revendique du FDF originel, a annoncé en face un congrès à la même période.
La page sportive.
Du sport, juste en une note, et c'est pour rappeler que les Lions indomptables du basketball sont déjà fixés sur leurs adversaires de l'Afro-CAN 2023. La compétition se dispute à Luanda, c'est du côté de l'Angola, pour les hommes du 7 au 16 juillet et du 26 juillet au 6 août chez les dames, et ce sera du côté de Kigali au Rwanda. Chez les messieurs, le Cameroun jouera le Congo démocratique, la RDC, et le Mozambique. Le Cameroun jouera donc la RDC qui est la République démocratique du Congo et le Mozambique, et les dames affronteront l'Angola et le Mozambique.
The second part of the news in the English language with Germaine Ta.
If you have just tuned in, then you're listening to Royal 6 p.m. bilingual news on 88.4. In prelude to the raffle draw ceremony of the Mutual Assistance and Solidarity Maso Act 3 on July 9 at the Multipurpose Sport Complex in Yaoundé, beneficiaries of the goodwill of Maso Act 2 are yet to forget the profit derived from Maso Act 2 as they share the nostalgia in this report done for us by Eratus Dueta Kalasan.
Comfortably seated in his bus, a branded Maso Actor with his hair well combed and shoes sparkling bright, waiting for clients to make their entry in his bus for him to take them to their various destinations. For Emmanuel H. about 40 is one of the novice beneficiary of a transportation bus offered him by the Mutual Assistance and Solidarity. Conscious of the goodwill that comes when a mutualist, Emmanuel has gone as far as sensitizing his clients, family members and friends of his benefit.
I'm doing public transport and I'm doing my best to even at least sensitize most of my customers to tell them the reality about the Maso and what is behind Maso. So I'm doing the effort to make them know that Maso is a reality, that everybody should try and see to be a member of Maso.
Chuate Lionel, on his part, is one of the winners, and he shares how he has invested the finances he won in Maso Act 2.
I benefited 500,000 francs CFA in Maso Act 2. The money permitted me to buy my needs at a whole price. I bought television sets, fans, and dozens of canned drinks.
being a panacea that will help to enhance solidarity and eradicate poverty in our society and permit others to stand a chance of winning prizes, Emmanuel has started making reforms.
Concerning the balance, I'm not joking because I had to put all the effort that I had to see that I must reach my target. And concerning my balance, I'm up to date.
No, a beneficiary of Maso Act 2 has been battling with some technical hitches when using his precious bus.
Presently, I had some small breakdowns like battery. I need to buy a battery. I need tires. So challenges must come. The highest thing is my balance.
Irrespective of the minimal challenges, he concluded by calling on all to subscribe to Maso.
Everybody to try and do everything possible to come in and register in Maso. It's not only that if you don't win a car or a house, that's not all the benefits. You have other benefits like health insurance and so on. So that's not all about Maso. Everybody to try and put in the effort to be a member of Maso.
Being a member thus entails meeting up with the deadlines for registration into Maso Act 3, which ends on the 28th of this month at 4 p.m. in all approved Finance SA agencies and its affiliates.
Erratas the way in that report. As the Maso Act 3 raffle draw ceremony is fast approaching, Premier Crispin, in the following report, you outline the different procedures to follow after a mutualist happened to have won a household equipment.
Equipment like television sets, refrigerators, gas cookers, beds, mattresses, pillowcases, and living room chairs can be gotten from both Maso Classic and Maso Gold. However, if one emerges winner of one of these equipment, he or she will within 45 days after full draw ceremony have to endeavor to make necessary dispositions in order to meet up with all requirements in order to be eligible to fully become owner of the set prize. Moreover, the benefiting mutualists will imperatively have to deposit an amount worth 30% of the won prize. The offer or prize won will be officially handed to the benefiting mutualist only after a contract of agreement has been signed by both parties involved, that is, the mutualist and Renapro Finance SA. It is worth noting that after emerging winner, the offer cannot be changed nor replaced. In addition, these measures must be respected by the mutualist. Failure to do so, the offer may be cancelled.
If you are just tuning in, then you are listening to the 6 p.m. Bilingual News on Royal FM 88.4. On to one of our lead stories, the chairman of the Social Democratic Front and vibrant opponent of President Paul Biya has died last night, July 12, 2023, at the age of 82 in Yaoundé following a prolonged illness. The news on the death of one of Cameroon's prominent figure is contained in the press release signed by the party's vice president, Joshua Osei. And early this morning, members of the nuclear and political family of the SDF party gathered at his residence in Kofulu at the outskirts of Yaoundé. Our reporter Christian Mando returned from his home and says the atmosphere that reigns there is unusual. Yes, I report.
In Ni John Frundi's courtyard in his home at Kolfulu this morning, members of his family were unconsolable. Near them were friends who are to mourn. It's been few hours that the chairman has gone. His granddaughter could not find words to explain his departure. The pain is deep, her eyes swollen, and her face wet with tears. She finds it difficult to hold a conversation.
I don't know. The pain is too much. That is all I can say. He has kept us on the bridge that we cannot cross. That is where he ends us there.
It is in that building located at the road to Soa that the national president of the Social Democratic Front kicked the bucket last night, Monday, June 12. Since his return from Geneva in Switzerland, his health has been deteriorating over time. The Cameroonian opposition leader in the 90s has left family members of his party with memorable actions. Grimbanda, the Deputy Secretary General number 3 of the SDF.
I can confidently say that the person who brought democracy in Cameroon is the national chairman of the Social Democratic Front, John Fundi. The chairman is the only senior political figure. I classify the chairman as one of those in the Cameroon political pantheon.
Lionel Kungamba, a collaborator to the late chairman in this sorrowful atmosphere, also expressed his feelings in regard to this death.
We have lost our monument, we've lost our guide. The chairman was very important for us. We are really sad for his departure, and we just have to accept it by saying that God loves him more than us.
At the home of the initiator of the slogan "Power to the People," executives and members of the SDF took their places with the nuclear family in sadness. The body of the chairman is kept at Hôpital Génico Mortuary in Gousso while waiting for the funerals program.
And the Director of Information, Abel Balasamarin, the following report looks at the political life of late Ni John Frundi, National Chairman of the Social Democratic Front Party. Take a listen.
Ni John Frundi, born on July 7, 1941, was a highly respected Cameroonian politician who had a significant impact on the nation's political landscape. Hailing from Babatu in the northwest region of Cameroon, he pursued his education in Cameroon, attending the Basal Mission and the Santa Native Authority before moving to Nigeria to study at the Lagos City College and work in 1957. Returning to Cameroon in 1966, Fundi started his professional journey by selling vegetables, and he later owned a bookstore in Bamenda called the Ibi Book Center and headed the football the Social Club of Bamenda from 1979 to 1988. Fundi's political career began when he contested as a candidate of the ruling Cameroon People's Democratic Movement in Mezam Central constituency during the single party in 1988 parliamentary election. However, he lost to another CPDM list. In 1990, Ni John Fundi founded the Social Democratic Front, an opposition party that would become the main opposition force in Cameroon. He was elected the SDF national chairman at its first ordinary national convention held in Bamenda in May 1992. Fundi's establishment of the SDF marked a new era in Cameroon political affairs, challenging the status quo and creating a platform for alternative voices. Fundi made a strong show in October 1992 presidential election, competing against incumbent President Paul Biya. Despite official results showing Fundi is gaining 36% of the votes against Biya's 40%, the opposition condemns the election as fraudulent. Ni John Fundi and the third-place opposition candidate Bedo Buba Maigari unsuccessfully sought the Supreme Court's annulment of the election. In the aftermath, violence erupted in the northwest region, and Fundi was placed under house of arrest for about a month. Fundi's political career experienced a boost when he and his wife Rose attended the inauguration of United States President Bill Clinton on January 20th, 1993. Their presence at the event, including a photograph with the Clintons, symbolically enhanced Fundi's recognition and legitimacy in light of his claim to have won the 1992 election. The SDF, along with other opposition parties, boycotted the October 1997 presidential election. In October 2004 presidential election, Fundi took the second place with 17.40% of the vote against Biya's 70.92%. Fundi criticized the July 2007 parliamentary election as fraudulent and demanded its annulment. In the election, the SDF won the second highest number of seats but fell far below the ruling CPDM party. After the election, Fundi called for President Paul Biya to recognize him as the official leader of the opposition. In April 2008, Fundi called for a national day of mourning to to remember those who died during the 2008 anti-government protests and the death of democracy in Cameroon. Fundi will be remembered to continue political journey by participating in the October 11 presidential election, placing a distant second behind Biya. Following the election, Fundi and other presidential candidates called for the annulment of the election. In the April 2018 Senate election, Fundi stood as candidate in the Northwest region but failed to win a seat in the Senate, alleging that the ruling party had bribed some SDF local councillors. Fundi was criticized of the Cameroonian government's handling of the Anglophone crisis, a war that personally affected him. John Fundi's political career spanned over 3 decades, during which he played a pivotal role in shaping Cameroon's political landscape. As the founder of the Social Democratic Front, the SDF party, he provided an alternative voice to the ruling party and fought for democratic principles and changes. Although he never achieved the presidency, Fundi's impact on Cameroon's politics remains significant, and his legacy will continue to inspire future generations progress in Cameroon. Prior to his death, John Fundi was preparing to host a convention at which a new executive organ would be elected, seeing him step down as chairman of the Social Democratic Front, the SDF party.
Abel Bella, Summary Director of Information. Albino in Cameroon and across the world are today on the spotlight as the International Albinism Awareness Day is being celebrated today. This year's theme is Inclusion is Strength. This year's theme builds on last year's call for albinism affected people to have their voices heard in all spheres of society. How do Cameroonians behave toward albino? We captured some of their reactions in this Vox Pop.
They are people like us, they are human beings. When I see them, I just see the greatness of God, a God who creates people differently, uniquely, and of course, He's just so great. Yeah, so when I look at them, I just see the greatness of God. And I do associate with them, and even had an uncle. He was an albinos, and we loved him so much. I love them. They are not different from us. They are human beings like us, like any other.
I think albinos are human beings like us, and equally I do associate with them. I'm not scared of them. I associate with them.
For me, I think albinos are not different from us. They are the same people, they are the same everything, just their skin color and their eyes that are different, but they are very the same. And I do associate with them. I have 2 friends that are albinos. We are just like, in fact, for me, we are not different, we're the same. So I don't see them like extraordinary people. Or
people think that an albino is not a person, and that is totally false. Albinos are human beings like us blacks. We are one. God created all of us, and I do associate with some of them because I have friends who are albinos, and I'm not also scared of them.
And in sports without transition, some members of the Association of Elite Clubs of Cameroon, ASEC, have abandoned the association. The association, made up of club presidents, have accused ASEC of being a dupe to Fecafoot, despite their activities being prohibited by the divisional officer of Douala 2 weeks ago. They still succeeded to obtain a receipt of declaration, which has led to the creation of a new association known as the Association of Professional Football Clubs of Cameroon. And that note in sport draws the curtain of our 6 p.m. bilingual news on Royal FM 88.4. Urish Kemwe was a sound technician, video editor Jean-Marie Otou, producer